Welcome. So in this lesson, we're going to be talking about multiplying fractions. So let's go through our instructions here. When multiplying fractions, multiply the numerators together, multiply the denominators together. Seems pretty easy. So when we come here, we have 2 on 3 times 4 on 5. What we do is we times our numerators together. So it's going to be 2 times 4. Then we times our denominators together, which will be 3 times 5. 2 times 4 is 8, so that's going to be my numerator, and 3 times 5 is 15, so it's going to be my denominator. And that's it. So you can see that this is much easier than adding and subtracting. Adding and subtracting is quite difficult because you have to get the lowest common denominator. But here, we just have to multiply the numerators, multiply the denominators, and we're done. So let's go through a couple more examples here. It says evaluate 3 on 4 times 1 on 5. Well, we just multiply the numerators together. 3 times 1 is 3. 4 times 5 is 20. And I'm done. When we come over here now, we have the word of. Now, the word of in maths is the same as times. So 3/4 of 3 on 8. Well, just pretend that this is a multiplication symbol. So we just go 3 times 3 is 9. 4 times 8 is 32. And that's it. So that's why multiplying is so much easier than adding and subtracting. You're just multiplying the numerators, multiplying the denominators. All right, let's look at a question that's a little bit more difficult. So here we have, it says, evaluate and then simplify. Okay. 8 on 12 times 2 on 5. So let's do what we know. We'll go 8 times 2 is 16. Then 12 times 5, that's going to be 60. Now, we know that I can't leave my answer like this. We can never leave it like this. We must simplify it. So if I'm going to simplify this, you might be thinking to yourself, well, this is kind of tricky. These numbers are kind of big. What's the biggest number I can divide 16 and 60 by? Now, you might know, but let's pretend we don't know for a second. So what would you do if you were asked to simplify, but you couldn't think of the biggest number that they're both divisible by? Well, what you could do is just halve them. So in this case, that would work. 16 divided by 2 would be 8, and 60 divided by 2 would be 30. So because both of them are divisible by 2, we just went, well, let's just divide them by 2. Now we look at this, we've got 8 and we've got 30. Well, guess what? They're divisible by 2 again. So I would have to do it again. 8 divided by 2 is going to be 4. 30 divided by 2 will be 15. That's a pretty ugly 15. Let's try that again. 15. So that means, and these don't simplify any more, so that means my final answer here is going to be 4 on 15. Now you can see that was kind of tricky because the numbers got kind of big. So is there a way that we could do this that's a bit easier? And in fact, there is. So if we come down here now, what we're going to do is simplify vertically first and then multiply. So we're going to simplify first and then multiply. So here's the exact same question, 8 on 12 times 2 on 5 as this one. So we know what our answer should be, but we're gonna, instead of just multiplying straight away, we're gonna simplify first. So let's get out our red pen to simplify. What could I simplify here? Well, I have 8 and 12. So I'm simplifying here. I would go 8 divided by 4. I could divide them both by 4, right? 8 and 12 are both divisible by 4. 8 divided by 4 is 2. 12 divided by 4 is 3. And then once I've done that, I can now multiply as I usually would. So I would go 2 times 2 is 4. 3 times 5 is 15. Well, would you look at that? This is the same as this. So you can see how much easier it is simplifying first and then multiplying. Much, much easier. Because look here, this was a whole bunch of hard stuff going on here because the numbers were so big. But if you simplify first, it's much easier. Now, I've said we're simplifying vertically, and that's what we're going to be doing in these examples here. We're simplifying down like this, so A with B and C with D. Okay, so let's come to our next question here, and you might like to pause the video, try them yourselves, kind of work at your own speed here. Don't feel you have to go at my speed, you might be working a bit quicker. So we've got 2 on 6 times 1/3. Well, can I simplify 1/3? No, I can't. Can I simplify 2 and 6? Yes, I can. Both of those are divisible by 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1. 6 divided by 2 is 3. And now, once I've done that, I just multiply. So I multiply my numerators, so 1 times 1 is 1. And I multiply my denominators. 3 times 3 is 9. And I'm done. Perfect. Let's come down and do these examples here. Again, pause the video, do them yourself, and then play and see if you got it right. Well, I'm going to simplify 3 and 9. That works. 3 divided by 3 is 1. 9 divided by 3 is 3. And I can simplify 6 and 12 as well. That's allowed. Let's grab a new color here. 6 divided by 6 is 1. 12 divided by 6 is 2. So that means what I'm going to get here is 1 times 1 is 1. 3 times 2 is 6. Hopefully you can appreciate how easy this was. In contrast, if we went 3 times 6 and then 9 times 12, the numbers would have gotten very big. But if you simplify first, the numbers don't get too big. Look over this one. Look, we've got 8 and 10 and 14 and 21. Can you imagine if we didn't simplify first? It would be a disaster. Okay, so can I simplify 8 and 10? Absolutely, I can. 8 divided by 2 is 4. 10 divided by 2 is 5. And then we come to our next one over here. We have 14 and 21. So I'm simplifying like this. Both of those are divisible by 7. So I look at these and I think of my 7 times tables. So 14 divided by 7 is 2. 21 divided by 7 is 3. So that means my answer will be 4 times 2 is 8. 5 times 3 is 15. Perfect. So just to go through, in these examples here, what did we do? We simplified vertically first and then multiplied. So we simplified like this. Let's now move on to our next one here. And this says we're going to simplify diagonally first and then multiply. Well, that seems a bit odd. Well, let's just look at our first question here. So we would look here and we're multiplying. Tell me, can we simplify 3 and 5? No, you can't. Can I simplify 1 and 6? No, you can't. But what we can do is we can simplify diagonally. I have 3 and 6 here. I know that both of those are divisible by 3. So I'm dividing like this, simplifying like this. 3 divided by 3 is 1, and 6 divided by 3 is 2. Now, 1 and 5 don't simplify, so I just leave that. But now I can answer this question. I can go 1 times 1 is 1, 5 times 2 is 10. So this is pretty cool. Let's come up here. I can simplify like this, diagonally, which I think is pretty cool. So let's keep on going here. We have 7 and 10 times 8 and 21. So you might like to pause the video, try to simplify diagonally. Pause it and give it a go. All right, so I've got 7 and 21 here. So I know both of those are divisible by 7. 7 divided by 7 is 1. 21 divided by 7 is 3, because 3 sevens are 21. I can also simplify this way. I've got 8 and 10. I know that 8 divided by 2 is 4, and 10 divided by 2 is 5. So that now means I can go 1 times 4 is 4. 5 times 3 is 15. So it'll be 4 and 15. All right, now make sure you pause the video and give this one a go yourself, and then play and see if you get it right. Okay, so let's give it a go. So what am I going to do here? Well, I've got 3 and 9, so I can simplify those. 3 divided by 3 is 1. 9 divided by 3 is 3. And where else can I simplify here? Well, I can simplify this way. Oops, let me grab that green out again. This way. And you should know what we can divide by here. 8 divided by 2 is 4. 10 divided by 2 is 5. So that means I'm going to end up with 1 times 5 is 5. 4 times 3 is 12. So that is simplifying diagonally. So just to recap, we've simplified diagonally and we've simplified vertically. Well, guess what we're going to do next? We're going to do them both at the same time. We're going to simplify both vertically and diagonally. And this is the last part of this little video here. So if we were just to draw what we're going to do here, I'm going to simplify vertically and diagonally. Now, can you tell me, what does this look like? Have a think. Hopefully you're saying, hey, that looks like a bow tie. And it does. It looks like a bow tie. So we're simplifying vertically and diagonally. Now, very important, we can never simplify horizontally. Never, ever, 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 ever. You can never simplify this way. That's a big no-no. So never do that. Only if it looks like a bow tie. Okay, so these are a bit more trickier examples here, so let's give them a go. I can't simplify 2 and 3. I can simplify 4 and 8. Both of those are divisible by 4, so this will be 1 and this will be 2. Is there anything else I can simplify here? Well, I can simplify 2 and 2 because I've got a 2 there now. 2 divided by 2 is 1, and 2 divided by 2 is 1. So you can see there I kind of simplified, well, I simplified twice, didn't I? 1 times 1, so I'm just going with these ones. 1 times 1 is 1. 3 times 1 is 3. Pretty good. Let's come down here. Let's do the next one together. Again, pause the video, see if you can do it yourself. 8 and 7, nah, that doesn't simplify. What about 15 and 20? That simplifies. Both of those are divisible by 5. I could divide this by 5 and get 3. I could divide this by 5 and get 4. Is there anything else I can simplify here? Have a look. 8 and 4, that simplifies. 4 divided by 4 is 1, and 8 divided by 4 is 2. So now, when I come to answer this, I would go 3 times 2 is 6. 1 times 7 is 7. Perfect. Last one, make sure you're pausing the video and giving it a go yourself. So let's have a look around here. What can we do? You know, the first thing I would probably want to do is this 10 and 35. Both of those are divisible by 5. So let's do that first. 10 divided by 5 is 2. 35 divided by 5 is 7. Good. Is there anything else I can simplify here? Well, 18 and 7, that doesn't simplify. But 2 and 24 does. So I'm simplify vertically here. 2 divided by 2 is 1. 24 divided by 2 is 12. Ooh, I can simplify again. Look, I've got 12 and 18. This is madness. I can simplify this way. Both of these are divisible by 6. 12 divided by 6 is 2. And 18 divided by 6 is 3. So it's a bit messy here, so let's just make sure we know what we're doing. I'm going 1 times 3 as my numerator, and then I'm going 2 times 7 as my denominator. And that's going to be 3 and 14. And that will be my final answer. So that's how we approach these questions. So that is the bow tie method. So make sure you remember the bow tie. Hopefully you found this useful. I'll give you some questions now to go on with, and there will be a part 2 as well. So hopefully you enjoy this and you understand what has to be done and just the whole process. And if you're still not sure, make sure you reach out and we can have a chat. All right, I will see you soon.